Business Growth with RiRi, and we have RiRi in the studio this morning. Good morning, RiRi.
Good morning, Lagos. How are you all doing on this wonderful day? Once again, as he said, it's Business Growth with RiRi, the show that gives unfair advantage to business owners and SMEs. The show is proudly sponsored by FCMB. Whoop, 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 whoop. And on today's show, I'm going to be talking to you about how to build your brand on social media. But before that, can I just, wish my son Chidi a happy birthday. Chidi Michael is 19 years old today. So, just want to shout out.
Happy birthday, Chidi.
Thank you. So let me start with some facts and definitions before I give you the 4-step formula to build your brand on social media. So the fact is that 3.96 billion users are on social media. This figure is growing daily. That's about 49% of the world's total population. And I have been in, business for a while, and I've been in marketing for a long time. And I know that when I was in marketing in the early days, trying to reach people was a challenge. Back in the day, we'd do things like we'd have flyers, we'd call people up. But now, because social media has just given you this global platform, it's actually phenomenal. And marketers, brands are using social media to build their brand and make those coins, So let me just talk about a brand. A brand is a mixture of tangible, those are things that you see, and intangible, unseen attributes symbolized by a trademark. And the thing about a brand is, if managed properly, can create value and influence. When we think of all those big brands, you see things like, even today I'm wearing my Nike, these brands create influence and value. And then what we do as marketers or business owners is we have to do branding. So branding is the aspect of creating a strong positive perception in the minds of customers.
So what would you say makes a good brand?
So what would I say? Okay, when I think of brands like Nike, all these big brands like Coke, they're unforgettable. So they've got something in the marketplace that makes them unforgettable. They tell good stories. It's so important to do that. And they are memorable. They stand out in the marketplace. And one of the things I'd say about good brands is they are consistent. So you know that if you're going to get a pair of, say, Nike trainers, you're always going to find a good, excellent pair. So if you want to build your brand, take note of these. Tell a good story, be memorable, stand out, be consistent, and be excellent. So that's really important in order to build your brand. And I'm going to be sharing the 4 steps to build your brand. But let's talk about life as a growing SME or entrepreneur, because the hustle is real. I've been in business for nearly a decade. There are challenges, there are hurdles. Sometimes you hit a brick wall. Sometimes you need a bailout or a loan. And you don't want to stress the popular credit firms. So if you find yourself in this position, then FCMB Quick Loan is there. Yes, FCMB Quick Loan is all you need for zero stress. And in order to get in touch with them, just go to fcmb.com/quick-loan. I'll say that again, fcmb.com/quick-loan for a stress-free experience. Okay? So let's get back to the 4 steps process of building your brand on social media. Now, when I think about myself, I've been on social media for about 13 years. Because 13 years is, that's how long I've been in Lagos. And when I first came, I was on Facebook, because a lot of my family, everybody was on Facebook, So 2 years into coming to Nigeria, I started to help, at the time, I don't think they'd be called influencers, but I started to help small business owners to build their brands on social media. And at the time, I didn't quite understand it. I had one particular client that was like, RiRi, we have to post 3 times a day, we have to talk about this and we have to talk about that, And then I know another influencer who is a millionaire now in pounds. And I remember back in the day, she was building her brand on YouTube. And I used to watch her and I used to think, oh, what's this? But today, she is just phenomenal. So I'm going to be talking you through what you can do. So the first thing that I would say that you should do is you need to do an audit. You need to do an audit on all your social media presence. And one way you can do that is, first of all, going to Google. We say Google is your friend. Make sure, because sometimes what you find on social media is that you may not be the only brand name out there. And that may be a challenge. and that may be something that you have to take up legally. But what you need to do is start by auditing your social media presence, identifying the gaps. For example, when I started to really build my brand on social media, I saw that there were like 20 Rita Okoyes on social media. And when I was in my office, I think I've said this before, they used to call me RiRi. I had a particular lady that was always like, RiRi, RiRi, you know. I wasn't born RiRi, you know. I was born Rita, you know, Rita. Yeah. So, you know, when I came to Nigeria, they said, hey, RiRi, RiRi. So when I went on social media, I found that there were so many Rita Okoyes. And I said, I want to stand out. I want to be memorable. So this nickname that they were calling me in the office, that's what I did. So on social media, you know, everybody knows me as RiRi Okoye. And not only did I do that, I actually created a website. So my website is RiRi Okoye. My Instagram is RiRi Okoye. You know, anytime you want to find me, it's RiRi Okoye, you know. So that's what you need to do. You've got to identify the gaps. And then what you have to do in your profile, make sure that people know who you are, what you do, and what you offer, and make sure that that is consistent across all your platforms. So whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on, whether you're on LinkedIn, whether, you know, wherever you are, you know, just make sure that it's consistent, okay? And make sure that you've got your website there or whatever you're offering, a link, and then how people can contact you. Another thing that I would say in this audit is that you need to have a strong, high resolution photograph of what you're doing, whether it's your personal brand or whether it's whether it's products that you're selling. Make sure that the photograph is very, you know, is strong, high resolution.
Why?
It's just an image. It's perfection. It's excellence. Because when somebody sees you, that's the first impression that they get. So if they go to your page and they see a picture that is blurry, that doesn't say a good thing about you, does it? Sure. But when they see a strong, high resolution picture, they know that you're serious. It's all about, you're a serious business person. You don't want to put a blurry picture there. You've got to put something that marks excellent. So that's what I would say. So let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Girl, running your own business can be so stressful. Getting financial support is such a headache. You still have family responsibilities on top. Girl, why are you laughing?
I'm so sorry. He just sounded so much like me before She Ventures.
She what? Please, I've been to enough programs. How is this one different?
Well, She Ventures offers a unique mentorship platform for women in business, from top entrepreneurs, including trainings and 0% interest rates on business loans.
That's right. Get the right guidance, counseling, and mentorship your business needs when you visit fcmb.com/she-ventures. So what are you waiting for? Join the platform today. She Ventures, supporting women with vision. Powered by FCMB. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. This is Business Growth with RiRi, and I have been talking about how to build your brand on social media. This show is sponsored by FCMB. So first of all, I talked about auditing and making sure that you go through all of that. So the next step that you have to do is you have to develop your social media presence, as in you have to ask yourself a few questions. What are your goals? Because we all have different goals as business owners. Some of the brands are out there because they just want brand awareness. Some of them are thought leaders. So you see some people going live every day. Every day they're going live, on their platforms because they're thought leaders and they want people to know their expertise, and they're just always on live. Sure. Another one is leads. So perhaps you're not actually trying to sell anything on social media, but you're actually trying to pull people out of social media and take them to your own platforms, which I think is a very good idea because, the way things are going, you never know what could happen. Okay. And another thing that you need to think about is sales, and there's a whole long strategy about selling, but don't be too salesy. I'd say build a relationship and don't always be on social media just to sell because one thing I will tell you is that people like to buy but they don't like to be sold to. Have you noticed that? People like to buy. Yes, I like to go shopping, but I don't want anybody to jump in front of me and say, Madam, buy this. No. So just bear that in mind. And then another thing that you've got to do in terms of developing is you've got to ask yourself, where do I want to play on social media? Do I want to be on Facebook? Do I want to be on LinkedIn? Do I want to be on Instagram? Do I want to be on TikTok? Where do I want to play? And you have to think about what type of business you have. Some people are everywhere, but some people start somewhere first. Get used to that platform. Perhaps maybe say, okay, I'm going to start on Facebook, get used to this, and then maybe go to other ones. So sometimes you can do that, especially when you're starting. So to decide what platforms that you're going to play on. And then another thing that you need to do is you need to decide about how you're going to build your content plan. You know, sometimes you may decide, like on a Monday it's going to be motivation. Tuesday you might be sharing testimonials about customers that have used your products. Wednesday could be feature of the week. Thursday, maybe it's the day that you're going to do promos, and Friday could be fun day. Because remember, social media is actually about people being social. It was never built for a sales, audience. It's really about being social. Okay. So another important thing to do on social media is you've got to engage, because it's that whole thing about social engagement. And guess what? A lot of these platforms, their algorithms actually help you. When they see that you're engaging with your audience, they will show more of your posts, you know. So you find that on Instagram now, people are doing, posts with videos to last longer, or, they're just doing things that get more engagement. And you get rewarded for that, okay? Another thing about the engagement is that you've got to show your human side, because millennials say that they want to see the human side of the CEO. They don't just want to see a business, a logo. Yes, exactly. So you've got to show your human side, show your brand story, share testimonials. Another important thing about engagement is you've got to respond, because remember I said it's social media. So if people are commenting, asking questions, respond. Tell them what it's about. Engage with them. It's all about, social media is about engagement. So it's so important to engage with people. Thank them if they make a compliment, if they're asking questions, respond. Sometimes you're going to take them to your DMs, but it's so important to engage and respond.
Well, so one thing I take from all you said is that growing your brand on social media is not a child's play. It's actually work.
It's a strategy.
And I'm here thinking, so how long is this going to take? And I'm sure I'm probably not the only one thinking this. I'm sure there's someone out there who wants to start building their brand on social media, and they're thinking, okay, so how long is this going to take?
Well, this is the thing. The thing about building a brand, think about a house. You lay your foundation and then it grows. I mean, some people go viral and they blow up, but the thing about it is still all about strategy. So I would say that it takes about 5 years. When I look at some of the brands, yes, it does. I mean, it does to grow it. Yes. No, but to grow it to a point where like you're an influencer, it takes a while. It's not overnight, But what I would say to people is just focus on being consistent. Focus on showing up, because when you don't show up, people leave you. They're just expecting something from you. RiRi didn't show up today. RiRi didn't show up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Where's she gone? And people will leave you. So a lot of these influencers that you see out there that have big platforms now, they have been consistent. It's been through 5 up to 5 years. But I'm not saying that you won't actually make business. I mean, they start selling things. But I'm talking about a brand. Remember that brand being memorable, being consistent. Look at it, when we think about these big brands out there, that's what it's taken time. It doesn't start. So that's what I want to say to everybody. Don't be in a hurry. Just focus on delivering excellence. Focus on showing up. Focus on all the tools that I talked to you about before.
There are certain people who would say, this social media everything is just very tedious. It's very tiring. It's just sometimes you just I don't feel the urge to post. And you don't know what to post. So are there certain tips that you can give to help or to just advise people on the way?
So there are certain tools, certain apps, Hootsuite and Buffer. Those are the ones I know. But there are tools that you can use to actually plan. So perhaps on a Sunday, rather than spending every day putting a post, you just maybe focus on an hour using those apps to create your weekly post. And if it gets tedious, because it does, there are a lot of social media managers out there now that can just take over. And you give them all of your content, all the things that you want to do, and they will take over. But one thing I would say is that they have to understand your brand. They really have to mirror you, because what you don't want is somebody to come and take over and they're just not showcasing you, showcasing your brand, showcasing your values, showcasing your mission. Okay. So there's one final step. Okay. The final step that you have to do on this 4-step strategy is that you've got to measure your success. Because what is the point of spending every day on social media, doing all the things that you've got to do, doing all the reads, and nothing is happening. You're not seeing the coins, you're not seeing the, what is happening. And I'm not saying that everything that you do on social media is just about getting instant coins, but it's just about, what is it? There's got to be a purpose. So sometimes the purpose is brand awareness. So maybe you want to get total total impressions. Sometimes it's thought leadership, so your metrics is going to be mentions, how many people are actually talking about you. If it's word of mouth, if that's your goal, then you're going to be measuring how many people are sharing your your content. If it's leads, your metrics are going to be numbers. How many numbers are my leading to my website or leading to my platform? For sales, it's conversions. It's all about numbers. So you've really got to measure. If you don't measure, you're going to be frustrated because you can't really see what is happening. And one thing I'd say about social media is that they have insights. So the insights are really good. There's insights on Instagram. There's insights on all of them. So check the insights and have a business page, especially if you are a business owner. Don't just have, especially on Instagram, you can just convert it into a business page and it gives you all those tools. So what you need to do with the metrics is you need to think about what works well, what didn't work well, and how you can refine your goals. So these are the 4-step strategies to build your brand on social media. Once again, let me summarize. You've got to audit, you've got to develop, you've got to engage, and please measure. Okay? So, what I want to say, again, my name is RiRi. Business Growth with RiRi is sponsored by FCMB. And if you'd like to have more resources from myself, just head to ririokorocha.com, or you can follow me on IG. Next week, we're still continuing this conversation. How to understand social media behavior to help you grow your business. And we have a special guest from FCMB coming along too. So I look forward to speaking to you all again next week. This has been RiRi Okoye from Business Growth with RiRi. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much, RiRi, for coming to teach us how to grow our business. All right, stick around, don't go anywhere. It is your number one family radio inspiration, 92.3 FM. We'll take a break. At the top of the hour, it will be time for the world news. 12:15, Bode Bruno will be here for Sports Waka. And at 12:30, we'll be back for the midday rewind. All right, so stick around, don't go anywhere.